Hey, how's it going, everybody, and welcome back into the SFS channel. My name's Gavin, and today I've got 5 must-start wide receivers for Week 4 fantasy football action. We've got ourselves some talented players, some excellent matchups, and the possibility for some great production here. So let's not waste any time. Let's hit that intro and get straight into our first player. Alrighty, here we go. So I should have mentioned this in the intro while I was still on the big picture on the screen. But if you are loving the content here on the SFS channel, loving the SFS brand, go check out some of our merch. It is in the description of today's video. You can find that on our website, stillfantasy.com, and on the big header at the top of the website, click on our merchandise page, SFS Shop, and you can go look around there and see if you would like to rep anything for our content and our brand here. So, Corey Davis, after a long stint of 2 weeks in a row on the SFS sit list, he was in the doghouse here. We're putting Corey back out there as a must-sit player, or excuse me, a must-start player against the Tennessee Titans. This is one of the worst passing defenses in the league and one of the most exploitable matchups. Corey's had 2 tough games the last 2 times out. The Patriots, the Broncos. He saw 10 targets last week, but only caught a handful of those, and wasn't really able to do much with them. But I think with the struggle Zach Wilson has seen, he's still a very talented player, and he's still looking Corey Davis's way, trying to feed him the football. And I think Corey's the player that has the best potential and upside to be a productive fantasy wideout here down the stretch of this season. His matchups get a little bit easier here 3 of the next 4 weeks, and I think Davis should have a very productive outing here against the Titans. They'll need to score their points and keep up with Derrick Henry, because I think he's going to have his way in this game, and the Titans will score their points. But when Corey Davis and the Jets offense come out on the field, I expect them to have more success than they've had the last few games. Ja'Marr Chase against the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is a matchup I love. Someone tell me what the Jags front office is doing. I mean, their former top 10 cornerback, C.J. Henderson, shipped off in a trade to the Carolina Panthers. Now, he's been struggling, but a lot of young cornerbacks struggle. And I understand the move for both sides here. They go out and get a draft pick and a tight end who can help them give another weapon for Trevor Lawrence. But at the end of the day, that just makes this all the better for Ja'Marr Chase and the Cincinnati Bengals offense this week. Ja'Marr's got 4 touchdowns in just 3 games played in his young NFL career. He's certainly off to the races. You can beat this Jags team deep down the field on deep passing routes. Ja'Marr Chase thrives at that, and each of his touchdowns have been deep crossing or deep fade routes. So I expect him to score again this week. I expect that he will have a very productive outing. And when you've got the chemistry and the overall connection between him and Joe Burrow that he has, this is a matchup and a combination I look for every week in my lineup. Next up, we've got a new face on the must-start players list here. Allen Robinson against the Detroit Lions. A-Rob's been a disappointment this year. There's no way getting around it. He has not produced or lived up to our expectations through this point in the fantasy year, but this is by far the easiest matchup that Allen has had to this point. He had to deal with Jalen Ramsey week 1 against the Rams on Sunday Night Football, and then the Browns sacked Justin Fields 9 times, and Justin only completed 6 passes in his first career start, so obviously there wasn't too much production to go around there. But A-Rob here in week 4, the Lions are the worst back end he's played at this point in the season. The Bengals weren't all that excellent or elite either, but that was still a matchup in which he didn't really have much success. I just think that Allen and this Bears team walk out here this week, finally get something going. It can only go up from here. He's bottomed out. His fantasy stock has basically hit an all-time low here for him in the last couple of years now. He's going to start climbing back up. He's too good of a player to fail, and unless this offense is literally incapable of getting the ball to their best player, Allen Robinson should find more success and trend upwards for the rest of this season. Mike Williams. So how about Mike Williams, first of all? This man has been going nuts. He had, nearly 30 points in half PPR scoring this week, 2 touchdowns, a career game for him against Kansas City, who he has had multiple impressive showings against. But man, against Las Vegas this week, it's kind of hard to tell. Is Mike, with the target share that he's seen, who is the true number 1 for this Chargers passing game? Now, Keenan Allen has more raw targets than Mike Williams has, but Mike has been scoring more touchdowns. Mike has been producing at an insanely efficient rate here. Both of these guys are looking as if they're number 1 options right now in fantasy lineups, and I still feel more comfortable with Keenan Allen as a floor play on a week-to-week basis. But man, I think Mike Williams owns all the ceiling share here. And Keenan's definitely got something going for him in that category. But you're looking at a player who was built to score touchdowns with Mike Williams' frame, his size, his ability to win jump balls and contested grabs. This dude's a monster. We're seeing why he was a top 10 pick by the Chargers all those years ago. And I mean, for a guy who's only 26, going on 27 years of age here in just a few days, Mike could potentially have himself a second contract with the Chargers and have a really great continuation of his career with this team. Justin Herbert's done wonders for him. I mean, Phillip Rivers couldn't help Mike find the numbers that he's seeing now, and I think that these are some numbers that we expect to keep seeing for the duration of this year. You get Las Vegas again. He's probably not going to draw the number one coverage assignment because I think Keenan Allen still warrants that level of respect and is still clearly that level of a player. But you really got to pick your poison here. And for a Raiders secondary that got a little bit banged up in the back end last week against the Dolphins, in addition to not being an overly strong unit to begin with, I like Mike this week. I think there's a great potential for production here. And then finally, Tyler Lockett against the San Francisco 49ers. Why not? I mean, San Fran's front seven was scaring me as a Packer fan last week. Going into that matchup without our top two offensive linemen, knowing that they were going to get pressure on Aaron Rodgers, and he stepped up and just fried them. Their back end is so injured, so depleted. They're on like 4th, 5th, 6th string cornerbacks. They had their backups leaving the game injured. Josh Norman was coughing up blood during the game. There is a lot of things going very, very wrong for that secondary group. And Tyler Lockett had a down week last week. That's going to make some people question him and really have to evaluate and assess what they want to do with him this week. The boom potential, the ceiling is too good to pass on here. Russell Wilson is going to have a field day, whether it's with DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, or both of these options. They're going to put up a lot of points in the passing game. As long as Russ can evade this pass rush, and I saw my Packers hold up just fine against that 49ers rush without our top two offensive linemen, they're going to be just fine. Russ is more mobile than Aaron Rodgers. His deep ball is also very excellent, very elite. Lockett should be very productive in this game, and if he can just spring free for even one catch, we've seen over the past 3 weeks just what he can do even on a limited amount of target share. All right, those were 5 of my must-start wide receivers for Week 4 NFL action. These are players, again, I love their matchups, super talented guys, and have all the potential to produce this week. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and go check out all the awesome opportunities such as SFS Gold, our merch store, the free community Discord. There's a ton of stuff to go check out in the description of today's video or any episode here on the channel. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.